Welcome back friends, my YouTube channel Tech Tide Digital Lifestyle for our induction motor complete course, and today in day 9 we will study losses, efficiency, and heating of induction motors. These topics are extremely important because they directly affect energy consumption, running cost, motor life, and safety in industrial as well as marine installations. In ETO and COC examinations, questions related to classification of losses, efficiency calculation, and heating causes are very common. So please listen carefully and revise these concepts properly. Before starting watching this video, please like and subscribe my YouTube channel. Let us first understand the classification of losses inside an induction motor. Whenever electrical power is supplied to the stator, not all of it is converted into useful mechanical output at the shaft. Some power is lost in different parts of the motor. These losses include stator copper loss, rotor copper loss, core or iron loss, mechanical loss, and stray load loss. Electrical losses mainly arise in windings and magnetic core, while mechanical losses are due to rotation of moving parts. All these losses finally appear in the form of heat, raising the motor temperature. Now we focus on stator copper loss. This loss occurs in the stator winding conductors because they have electrical resistance. Whenever current flows, power is dissipated as I²R loss. This means that if stator current doubles, copper loss becomes 4 times. Therefore, at higher load, stator copper loss increases sharply and becomes one of the dominant heating sources. In continuous duty motors, designers carefully select conductor size and insulation so that this loss remains within permissible limits. Next comes rotor copper loss, which occurs in rotor bars or rotor windings. Just like stator loss, it is also proportional to the square of rotor current. Rotor copper loss is strongly related to slip. At starting, slip is equal to 1, rotor current is very high, and rotor copper loss becomes maximum. As the motor picks up speed and slip reduces, this loss decreases. From power flow theory, we know that rotor input power is divided into rotor copper loss and mechanical power developed, which makes rotor copper loss a very important concept in torque production and efficiency calculations. Now let us discuss core or iron loss. This loss occurs in the laminated stator core due to alternating magnetic flux. It consists of 2 components, hysteresis loss and eddy current loss. Hysteresis loss depends on frequency and magnetic material, while eddy current loss depends on the square of flux density and frequency. Because supply voltage and frequency remain almost constant in normal operation, core loss is considered nearly constant from no load to full load conditions. This is why in testing we often measure it during no load test. In addition to electrical losses, we have mechanical losses such as bearing friction, air friction or windage, and losses in cooling fans. These losses depend mainly on speed and construction rather than load. There are also stray load losses, which are small but unavoidable losses caused by leakage flux, harmonics in current and flux, and non-uniform distribution of current in conductors. Modern standards include stray losses when calculating efficiency. Now let us define efficiency of an induction motor. Efficiency is the ratio of mechanical output power available at the shaft to the electrical input power supplied to the stator. It is expressed as a percentage. In general, induction motors have their highest efficiency near rated load because at this point the variable copper losses and constant losses are well balanced. At light load, constant losses dominate and efficiency reduces sharply, which is why oversized motors are not economical for small loads. All the losses that we discussed finally appear as heat, causing temperature rise inside the motor. Heating is a serious issue because insulation life decreases rapidly with increase in temperature. As a general rule, for every 10 degrees Celsius rise beyond the rated temperature, insulation life roughly halves. Therefore, motors are designed according to insulation classes such as Class A, B, F, and H, each permitting a specific maximum operating temperature. To control temperature rise, various cooling methods are used. Small motors may rely on natural air cooling, while medium and large motors use forced ventilation with shaft-mounted or external fans. In heavy-duty or marine environments, water-cooled heat exchangers or air-to-air coolers may be employed. Proper cooling is essential to maintain efficiency and avoid breakdown during long-term operation. From ETO and COC exam perspective, remember to clearly classify losses, explain why rotor copper loss is maximum at starting, write the efficiency equation, and list different cooling techniques. You should also be able to state the effect of overheating on insulation and machine life. These points are frequently asked in short answer and descriptive questions. So to summarize today's DAY9 lecture, we studied the different types of losses occurring in induction motors, how these losses affect efficiency, why heating occurs, the importance of insulation classes, and the cooling methods used in practice. This knowledge helps engineers operate motors safely, economically, and reliably. In the final lecture, Day 10, we will cover maintenance, faults, and troubleshooting of induction motors, which is extremely important for real-life operation on ships and in industries. Stay connected with the playlist and keep learning with TechTide Digital Lifestyle. Thank you for watching this video. Please like this video and comment, and don't forget to subscribe my YouTube channel TechTide Digital Lifestyle and hit bell icon.